So YouTube. As we know, there's been countless of disturbing, unnerving, and scary channels out there, but there's been one in particular that I've been pretty fascinated with who goes by the name of Marcolac. And this channel only consists of these 8 disturbing videos, and I wanted to go through all of these just for fun, so I hope you enjoy, and let's get started. So the first video starts off with someone slowly opening their eyes, showing them in a playground with peaceful birds chirping in the background. The person then blinks and it changes to them in another position on the playground. And once they blink again, a random figure shows up in front of them where it eventually lunges at the person. Then it shows the person waking up in their room before they blink again and are right back at that playground until they get jump scared again by the figure. The figure is now in their room and just staring at them until they blink again and is now gone. The person finally turns on the lights and that's it. And honestly, I can relate to this video a couple of times actually, because I've definitely had moments of sleep paralysis throughout my entire time of sleeping. And like, I knew I was awake in the moment and I could feel my entire body not move, but I could feel it being there and not being able to move a single limb anywhere. And it was so horrifying, and I could just feel like this entire presence just looming over me and feeling like something is there. But the thing is, I always have like a ton of pillows on top of me and I can't really see anything, so that's the good reason about it. So I don't know if anything was actually there, because I've seen stories of people seeing figures obviously in a corner or like right on top of them or behind them, behind their head, and that is the most terrifying thing to me, knowing that you can't do anything because your body is stuck. But I usually have the pillows like all on top of me with me being smothered, because it makes me feel a lot more safer and like I'm completely away from any danger possible, even though I know that's not how that works, but it helps me feel better at night. So, and apparently the creator said that they had their first sleep paralysis experience, so this is what this video is based on. So this next video is about a clock with abnormally long limbs. The clock starts off by saying hello, followed by immediately saying organ give. It cuts to a black screen which says time also needs nutrition, followed by a loud, gruesome sound effect. Almost as if it were the clock pulling something out of someone's insides. Hence the organ. And where we see the clock is now holding what looks to be a heart, which you can also tell by the beating sounds of the heart when it rips it out. Wake up. This is not the end. There is a terrifying presence in the room. In this disturbing scene where the player tries to take out the monster, you still aren't able to defeat it, resulting in a painful game over. But they also mentioned in the description that this video was inspired by the game Fear and Hunger, and although I've never heard of it, it deeply resembles it from what I saw, with a really good explanation from the channel Super Eyepatch Wolf. So make sure to check him out if you want a better understanding of that game to understand this video more, but I'm sure you'll get the idea just from checking the video out, so make sure to check it out. So Urban Journey number 11 is exactly what you'd expect it to be from the title. They start off by saying that they visited their own school after years of it being closed, and they took some photos while they were there. It had closed down due to several cases of missing children and the claims of the building being haunted. We get a lot of creepy images of different parts of the school before they say that the school used to have these big mannequins laying around that were used for classes. So yeah, this is pretty much your standard haunted building experience. But there's one mannequin they've never seen before. I noticed this recently after I took the photo that there was something wrong with that mannequin. Maybe the rumors were right about the school being haunted. I thought it was weird for me to think that until I saw my last photo. After that, I went home. But like, while all this is happening, they have the Little Big Planet music playing, which actually adds to how scary this video is, which is weird. But, you know, 10 out of 10 for that. The Mycosis Protocol starts off with a disclaimer that tells you that this content may not be suitable for all viewers. This video documents the initial outbreak of a serious fungal infection known as a Mycosis cerebralis. The individuals shown in this footage experienced severe psychological and physiological effect due to the infection. Symptoms include headaches, auditory hallucinations, and compulsive behavior leading to fatal consequences. So this story starts off in the small town of Grimsby, which was always a normal town hosting things like annual harvest festivals. The town was also known for its historic church whose bells were a symbol of the town's heritage, making the passage of time and events. And unfortunately, in the spring of 2006, those bells would have a totally different meaning. In early spring of that year, the amount of missing people went up way higher than the previous year, a massive 67%. Reports began to surface about a strange fungus in the forest close to Grimsby, a fungus known as Mycosis cerebralis. And at the time, there wasn't much known about this mushroom, so people never thought much of it. Although in the past 2 years, it's been increasing rapidly, which also has features in common with the cordyceps mushroom, which in real life is also known as the zombie fungus, except this one affects humans. At first, those who are infected will have persistent headaches and hear faint church bells ringing in the distance. And as the victim becomes increasingly withdrawn, they will continuously draw mushrooms and bell towers while their minds are being actively consumed by the fungus. By the third stage, fungus will begin to grow on their skin and will have the host go into damp, dark places where the fungus can thrive more easily in. The fungus then grows more and more inside, which makes the host immobilized and is now a vessel. And by the final stage, the fungus then grows in the brain until it can no longer be contained. We see the person then wake up in a room, takes a shower, and afterwards heads outside. After walking around a few places and admiring the outside, they went on with their day. But sometime later, they say they think they're early and later receive a message. Sorry, I can't hang out now. What? Why? Later, we hang out the clock. Okay, maybe tell me a bit sooner. Sorry, it's important. Alright, see you later. It was unusual for him to pick the clock tower. It's really peaceful. Something feels wrong. Jake. Jake? But I trusted him and I was fooled. Join me. The hostess's head swells and then bursts, releasing a dense cloud of spores into the air. This event ensures the continuation of the fungus's life cycle, as the airborne spores seek out new victims, ready to repeat the process. And then it just repeats. We then see the decomposing body of who we can assume is Jake, and he wanted to lead us here before his life was already gone. But by the time we get there, it's already too late. His condition looks like what seems to be the final stage of this infection. Okay, so this is something that I've always been scared about, of it happening in real life eventually. And I mean, the thought of the possibility of humans turning into zombies, or our brains getting infected with some sort of disease in the air, and there's no cure for it whatsoever, and we just have to live with that until we eventually turn into a rotted, disgusting corpse for the rest of our lives. And to know that fact is, I wouldn't want to be around for that. Like, I would want to be able to survive, but, just knowing that that's the outcome eventually is kind of a lot. I don't also spit everywhere, Jesus. But it just makes my whole body shake, and I don't know. All I know is I'm tired right now. Oh my God. So this begins with the outside of a building where time is passing. Inside of the building, we are met with a mysterious being that just says, "Wake up." We cut back to the building before it switches to a program that says, "Welcome back to the National Exploring Foundation." They ask if you've ever wanted a cheap vacation or to explore more, and if so, to visit Chickensaw Haven, known as the Land of the Past. Chickensaw Haven is an island that was just recently found near the east coast of the US, but it's unknown how it even happened. After explaining the reasons though, they say the real reason is unexplainable. We then cut to somewhere in the woods where they tell us about some things that you might want to bring on your adventure, which would be things like food and water, a sleeping bag, tent, matches, and a knife. They then tell us that it's important to camp where rain and wind can't get to you, and to also make sure that you stay out of predatory territory. These predators consist of brown bears, wolves, saltwater crocodiles, and conservator insulae. Apparently, it's a unique animal that only lives on this island, but nothing is known on how many even live there. People have said after encountering one, they've never been the same person again. Although it does rarely happen, since you often never make it out alive after being spotted by one. And the best thing to do if you were to encounter one is the following. Run. Everything is alive. The island is breathing. We then cut to a scene where someone is walking through what looks to be an abandoned building. They turn around behind them because they hear an ominous sound and are met with a disturbing creature, where they say, "It got me." After a credit sequence, we're back at the same building in the beginning, with the same creature inside staring at us, which we can only assume is the conservator insulae. It says it's time to move on before its face gets more dark and the entire sky is now dark outside as well, and the video ends. And these are the reasons why I will never go camping anywhere, like ever. I mean in the middle of the woods, because you just never know what's out there, like genuinely. But honestly, like, I'd never go somewhere if it was advertised to you like that place was. To me, that's just way too sketchy. In this video, we see a figure on a street at night that's just staring at you. The figure just says balls after a jump scare, and that's literally the whole video. Bye. The final video on this channel, at least at the time of this recording, starts with a warning that this video contains graphic images. It begins with a couple different shots, starting with a snail, followed by what looks to be a building on fire in the distance, then flashing police lights while sirens are playing heavily in the background on all of these clips. And right before the last clip ends, it shows what looks to be someone closing their eyes, and then two doors closing on them, which we can assume is an ambulance.
It all went down from there.
So this begins with a computer screen that has different monitors on the left. Upon loading SC Pro 3.1, we see what looks to be a human figure under the name for skin. It tells us that the growth areas are none, fungus stage is 1 to 2, and the containment level is -5. They then tell us about the organs and wait.
Growths detected. Wake up. Oh, you're awake. We just finished running some tests on you. We also just gave you some medicine, so you should be asleep again in no time. What? Now there's a screen that says preparing with a red circle to an organ. Apparently it's a camera that is inserted into a syringe that's inside the organ. Now the procedure begins. Switching to a camera, we see a blurry image that reveals to be the inside of the body where a growth is detected. Switching back to a hospital room now, the patient raises his hand to look at it, right before we get a glimpse of a figure at the door. Wake up, Steven. Inside their house again, we see them go downstairs, telling them to open the door, but it won't open. Now told to find the key, they look at the front entrance of the house and see this glitchy figure here for a split moment before seeing their front door open. Opening another door upstairs, they find that the one key that they were looking for downstairs, but there's another key they need now. Now going downstairs to what seems to be the basement, they're told it's on the other side of the room once they turn the light on. Now they're told to look through the keyhole of this door, which shows them eventually going outside, where they continue walking for a while, finally leading to this building we saw in the first video on this subject. They close their eyes again and are instantly in a white room with a door, and eventually find that key that they've been looking for. the next door you open is gonna be the last.
So with the ending to this one, I love how after the person arrives at the same building where the first person was taken out of in the story, this person is literally met with hallucination after hallucination, showing them being slowly taken over by the fungus until they're told to do one more thing before it's over.
Anyway, yeah, that's about it.
Anyways, yeah, that's kind of about it. I know I changed my clothes a lot during all of this. Actually, I just changed it twice. This is just a different shirt when I was wearing the green shirt otherwise. And I know I think my mustache has gotten longer. It's been a while since I recorded the last two, well, just the last time I was in that green shirt. So, things have gotten kind of out of hand and life is crazy. But, of course, check out Marcolac and his amazing content that I genuinely love, and I hope he does continue to make more of it. And everything will be in the description. His channel, that's kind of it, and some other things I probably will say in the description. But I just wanted to make this because I wanted to cover his channel because I genuinely enjoy like what he has going on. And that's kind of that. I don't know what I plan on doing next, but we'll see. Oh, okay. Oh my god. Honestly, more than anything, I'm so tired right now. It's 5:51 in the morning. It's basically 6 a.m. and I've been up for too long thinking about things, stressing myself out about things that I shouldn't be stressed about, but I put myself in that situation, so like I just do. Sorry, I'm so tired. So I'm gonna go to sleep. You enjoy what you have going on. Again, check him out. His content is amazing, and I'm glad I was able to cover it and just do whatever this video was. I wanted to just try something like this, so I decided to, his channel seems great. So I'm like, I'll just try it. So I did. And hopefully more scarier videos that I can cover, but also not have it take so long, because this took me too long because of new living situations, all this stuff with people, and so yeah, thank you so much for watching, and that's kind of it. I'll see you next time, I guess. Whatever, I guess what that would be, I don't know, but yeah, okay, bye. Oh my god, I need to sleep so bad. Good night.